Today we're going to be testing the NCV887720BSTGEVB Automotive Start-Stop Non-Synchronous Boost Controller Evaluation Board by ON Semiconductor. The equipment we'll be using today will be a DC power supply set to an output of 13.2 volts DC with our current limit set to 15 amps. We'll also be using a second DC power supply for our enable voltage, and that will be set to 5 volts DC. We also have a voltmeter on our output to monitor our output voltage. And lastly, we have a DC electronic load. For the connections to our board on our input, we will have our positive and negative going into both V in and ground on our board. And also note that we have some very heavy-duty cables in order to handle the input currents of up to 15 amps that the board will be experiencing. And we also have our enable voltage going into our DISB pin, and then here's the ground for the enable voltage. And then on our output, we have both our positive and negative from V out and ground going to our electronic load. And our voltmeter is hooked to the sense pins on the upper and lower, as you can see here. To begin our test on our input voltage, we're going to make sure it's set between 13 and 14 volts DC. In this case, we have it at 13.2, and we're going to turn it on. Next, back at our electronic load, we're going to make sure we have it set to 2.5 amps DC and turn it on. Next, we're going to take our DC power supply and we're going to lower it to 5.5 volts DC input voltage on our V in. Next, we're going to make sure we have an enable voltage set to 5 volts and turn it on. And here we can see on our output that our boost controller is enabled and we have an output voltage of approximately 10 volts DC. Next, back at our input voltage, we're going to slowly lower our input voltage until we reach 3.75 volts input. And meanwhile, we can see that our output voltage remains at 10 volts DC. This concludes the test of the NCV887720BSTGEVB Automotive Start-Stop Boost Controller Evaluation Board. For more information, please visit www.onsemi.com or contact an authorized distributor.